The next take here comes from We Too Deep.
We too deep, no way out now.
We Too Deep says his big takeaway is Triple H is pulling shit out of a hat right now because he's tired of the fans saying WWE is too predictable. He can't book and is relying on shock TV right now to keep everyone interested. This style of booking can't work long term. Hope you all enjoy the feast he gave you at Elimination Chamber, because that's all the cooking trips will be giving you until Money in the Bank. We Too Deep, you are my brother, you are my guy, we agree on a lot of shit. You saved my Bianca Belair match at WrestleMania, but I will have to tell you right here, I wholeheartedly disagree with this take at this point. This has always been the plan, Deep. We are on the course. This is the direction that Triple H has wanted to go for the last 365 days. Everything that he's done has just thrown us off of the scent of The Rock coming back and John Cena turning heel. I think that he has seen this as the big aha moment for WrestleMania for a long time. I think at least since Bad Blood, when The Rock came out and gave us the 3, I think this was all in the works. I think, it's this is the script. This is the script. And where I'll agree with you is that Triple H is booking 2 big events and big moments. Where I disagree is I don't know that that's a bad thing. I think it could be said that you have to sacrifice one for the other to excel. If we want these big shocker surprise moments that have been so much fun, then every little detail of every other match in between can't always take us where we want to go, because like breadcrumbs, they tend to lead the smarter fans into being able to predict what's happening in wrestling. I will argue that these big feasts that you speak of, they are enough to keep us full. They are. This is effective. This is effective booking, is that Triple H feeds us, and then he lets us go until he's ready with the next dish. To me, this is the same formula that WWE's used with Cody Rhodes for the 2 years that he built up towards Roman Reigns. And this is the same formula they used with the Bloodline, where it would feel like we'd have these massive moments with Roman Reigns, then he would disappear and we'd all start to murmur and rumble. And why are we getting Solo Sikoa and Jey Uso? What are we doing? Roman would show back up and we'd forget all about the shit that happened in between. We're like, oh my God, it's the greatest match we've ever seen, right? It's these big matches that give us the energy to get through the breadcrumbs. And wrestling fans, unfortunately, whether it's a good thing or not, we have very short memory. The truth is that this booking style that Triple H is using is the most realistic to other combat sport companies, right? UFC typically gives you one big meaty match for every numbered event. Then they fill out the rest of the card with a lot of shit that may not make sense. It's just, here's some shit to entertain you until you see the main event. We can't fill every card with 5 banger matches. But here's the problem. This is the problem where I want to poke a hole in what you're saying is, if you feel this way leading up to Elimination Chamber and WrestleMania, I think we have to look back at the last 5 premium live events and poke holes in those events. Because when I look back at those events, I can only remember the big moments. I don't remember the other bullshit that we complained about in the moment, right? We look back at Elimination Chamber, we got the heel turn, right? So that one's good. We look back at Royal Rumble, we got Alexa Bliss, I remember, and we got Jey Uso winning. That's all I remember. I don't remember the Motor City Machine Guns bullshit and the stuff like that. It doesn't stick around. Triple H knows we forget, right? Go back even farther, go to War Games. We got the Bloodline Civil War and we got CM Punk with his favor. That's all I remember. You go to Crown Jewel, that gave us these big ass gaudy belts that we all laughed at, right? You go to Bad Blood, that was CM Punk and Drew McIntyre in a cage match that we all herald as one of the best matches of all time. And we got The Rock coming out and holding up the 3 fingers, right? And you can keep going. You go Bash at Berlin was a strap match between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. It was Randy Orton and Gunther in a showdown, right? We only remember the big moments. When we look back at the premium live events from the previous year, we judge them on the biggest moment of the night, right? SummerSlam last year, we all remember positively, but I don't remember a lot of what went on. I just know that the ending was fairly decent. like I said, we just remember the big moments. The little day-to-day stuff feels good in the present, but we forget it so fast that you have to ask, how important is it really? Are you gonna remember 365 days from now what happened in the women's IC title match at WrestleMania 41? If it's not Becky Lynch, right? If it's just Lyra Valkyria versus Dakota Kai, most casual wrestling fans are going to have an interest, a fleeting interest in that match during WrestleMania. It's going to get them to the main event, but they're not going to talk about it afterwards. Same thing can be said about the men's and women's US title, the men's and women's IC title, all of the tag team title. Those are just crutches. Those are ways to make matches seem important as we get to those 2 and at most 3 moments that our brains hold on to from a premium live event, right? And already it's shaping up as WrestleMania 41 we'll have a John Cena and Cody Rhodes moment, right? We're going to have some match that has Roman Reigns. That will be a moment. We're probably going to have Jey Uso yeeting all over Allegiant Stadium. That will be a moment we remember. So I think at a certain point, Triple H knows that the payoff from these mid-card matches, it's not necessarily worth having to pay attention to every little booking detail when it comes to this stuff, right? When we get, the year moves so fast, but when we get around to December and we do another slapping meet end of the year awards, we're not going to talk about those matches. We're not going to talk about the mid-card stuff. We're going to talk about the biggest matches that ended the show. And I'll go even farther. It's the matches that end the show that we remember, right? It's the blackout moment. When the screen goes black, what do we remember? That's what we hold on to. And at the end of the year, that's what we talk about. And that's why I found it fun to be on your podcast this year for the year-end awards, because you had some AEW guys, you had people who very vastly different walks of life when it comes to wrestling fandom. Finding myself to be the most casual and representing the casual wrestling fan base is that a lot of times you talk about things, I go, I don't remember that. I don't hold on to that memory, right? This idea that Shawn Michaels is cooking all the time is because he books in the style that you like, which is consistently good matches every night. But he doesn't have, it's not the high highs and the low lows. And to the casual wrestling fans in those black screen moments, we want the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. We want the emotional roller coaster that wrestling is, whereas NXT is a little safer in that it is just, hey, here's 7 great matches. And I don't think as casual wrestling fans, that's what a lot of us are looking for. So I understand not liking the style of booking, but I think it's a little bit unfair to say like he's pulling this out of his ass. I genuinely think this is the plan. I genuinely think he doesn't sweat the middle of the card. I genuinely think more now than ever, he's not interested in the IWC's opinion. I genuinely believe somebody got into Triple H's ear and said, you're booking for ratings, you're booking for the casual fans, you're booking for TKO, give us the highest of highs. That's what we're looking for. Give us the Netflix moments. Give us The Rock. Give us John Cena. Give us the higher up the mountain you can take us. Take us up there, even if that means that we're going to have some times where we slip into some valleys. And you know what? We'll forget about all of those hardships in the valleys as we climb back up to the mountain, to that next mountain peak, and we set that new standard for what wrestling could be.